Did everyone have a nice Christmas? We're back. Oh god, I left off right when we were about to go into... we're in the secret compartments of the place. What a bummer time for me to leave for a while. Oh. Yeah. I can't look at this hat anymore. Why am I wearing this hat? Add logic points or something? Please, switch back. Oh god. I cannot deal with it right now. This is the best hat forever. Dick Mullen's hat changed this playthrough for the better. Irreversibly and forever, the moment I got it. Just so we're clear. It's the elevator. Close the doors and go up. What can go wrong? Haha. Pleasant. Nothing happened. Small windows taped shut with black plastic. You can't see outside. Schematics for a pinball machine. Futurism themed. Boxes of tools and replacement parts line the shelves. Ooh. The pinball maker's coat. What does this thing do? This dusty old coat used to belong to someone called M. Kniflocks. The name is stitched into the silk lining. It smells of moths and ancient engine grease, but fits you perfectly. A strange, lonely emotion fills you when you tighten the belt around your waist. Aww. +1 to empathy, the M. Kniflocks blues. He was apparently a sad man. And +1 to hand-eye coordination, a thing that I like being good at, so that's good. What's it replacing? It replaces the commander's jacket that gives me the EDC and the visual C. Both pretty good. I do like to have some empathy. Empathy's a nice stat to have. I wish I had more cop points. I think the cop stat is the Kim stat more than anything. I kind of thought we'd interact with the police more in this game, and maybe we do eventually, but I don't know how much game's left. I feel like we're pretty far along now. But I kind of thought that we'd interact with more cops than Kim more frequently, but it's pretty much just been Kim, so given that retrospect, I would think that would be like the Kim stat. I don't know. Kind of wonder how much you unlock of Kim by having a lot of points into Psyche. That'd be kind of interesting. The unfortunate thing is if I play again, I also probably want to play as a garbage person. Just a horrible person that does all the opposite choices, which... Because, like, doing an empath playthrough for Kim's sake would be too similar to this playthrough with just a few new conversations. It'd be kind of a bummer how similar it would be, arguably. I don't know. That's the upside of there being more YouTubers. The pinball machine has been taken apart and gutted. This is where they brought faulty pinball machines to fix them up. A long time ago. Everything is covered with dust now. The lieutenant looks around in the dusty, crowded room, inspecting the tools on the shelf. Looks like they gave up on fixing the pinball machines at some point. He agrees. At some point, 20 years ago? 15, maybe. Before pinball went out of vogue. This used to be a pinball workshop. Looks like it. I'm guessing Martinez North 22 used to be a pinball arcade before it became a hostel. There are machines left over. He taps his foot. A creak. Some dust falls off a shelf. Downstairs in the hall, next to the main door. One of them even works. I've seen some of the hearties bang away at it. Remember the dice maker? Then that means... Whirling in Rags was once the East Delta Pinball Arcade. This is all left over from that. Ah, yes. As the novelty dice maker said. He makes a note in his notebook. This has absolutely nothing to do with the case, I'm sure, but I do not like a nice little connection. But then it went bankrupt. Your skin crawls from making the connection. Could this mean the Whirling in Rags really is part of the doomed commercial area? If that's true, then our cafeteria manager is not going to like it. He looks around. We should tell him that we found what we found up here, omitting the suspicion. The doomed hostel? He does not appear to be the kind of man who likes his establishment to be part of the neighborhood ghost story about bankruptcy. Stupid superstition, but still, it would be interesting to see what the cafeteria manager thinks of this. You clearly see footprints in the downy carpet of dust covering the workshop floor. Jackpot. The lieutenant takes out his notebook. These, unlike everything else here, are new. Someone's been here within the last week or two. 3 weeks maximum from the dust coverage. It could easily have been 1 week too, you know, officer. He looks at you. This is so good, it makes him forget the whole Pinball memory. Cause I could have been here? It was a stereo investigation after all. It has now converged with our main investigation, adding a new fact to consider. Okay, what does this mean? It means someone snuck through what seems like a secret route leading to the roof, from where you can shoot our victim. This is significant. These prints, our officer, could be the prints of our killer. Let's have a closer look then. Large prints, most likely made by boots. The size is hard to determine. Sole could be bigger than vamp. The soles have left a pattern, uniform, horizontal lines. One person has been here. They've gone back and forth. The tips point both ways. This print is unlike one left by a regular worker boot. It is not a brand sole with logos on it. It seems custom made or old-fashioned. The prints look like one person went back and forth. Between that, he points to the elevator doors in the corner, and that, he points to the barred door. This print doesn't look like the odd-soled print we found at the hanging cam. He inspects the tracks closer. The size looks about the same, actually. They're not the same shoe, but they could be the same person. This doesn't look like the worker's boots from the hanging, does it? No. These little horizontal lines are different. They look custom-made to me. Or some kind of foreign print. Hard to say. Still a boot, though. Everything around you is quiet. The prints crisscross the workshop floor. Let's move on. Shit, we're backlogged on 3 points. The doomed hostel. The question is yet to be totally answered. Yeah, we're kind of still reviving this again. That's how it goes, huh? How long this list has got. Yep. One of my oldest goals, the Whirling in Rags passages. I need to process the homosexual underground. I just need to see if that's going to go somewhere. And I should really know my own birthday. Like, to volition. Pretty sure Precarious World is like straight up helping me in a significant way. Self-critique actually mostly just gives me a learning cap on pain threshold being high, which I don't think I'm going to be pumping points into necessarily. So that cap's not necessarily helping me. Meanwhile, this heal of 1 morale or 1 health only comes whenever I do a red check. Frankly, I have a lot of resources for healing both just fine. And if they're not approaching 0, in the case of morale, I don't need to heal them anyway. But like, these are red checks, not white checks. They're just not that common. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump my self-awareness. Oh no. And we're gonna start processing the homosexual underground. I'm super curious if that has an actual quest that comes out of it, like a story beat. That'd be cool. I already tried checking out Motorway South, and not much came of it, so it's mostly just a point of Inland Empire. Which is fine, but not mind-blowing. It's not really one of my go-to stats. It doesn't have larger bonuses. I think I'm gonna go ahead with that one. Hopefully I'm not making any massive mistakes, but I can't just sit here and not try these forever. There we go. I always keep 1 point around if I can, to get me out of a problem when I'm dealing with the check. That isn't more of an emergency situation. Neither of these have negative bonuses, or negative effects, so in 8 hours they'll both be done. Should be. There's a tiny hole in the wall. You see a bedroom on the other side. Oh, we're peeping in on her bedroom. You can almost see the shape of a man and a woman writhing inside, bathed in drug sweat and dirty linens. Bottles lie around everywhere. I think I can see De Clashe's bedroom from here. He leans closer to inspect the peephole. You can barely see through. Better not to jump to sensationalist conclusions here. The footprints on the floor, however, he points to the marks nearby on the floor. Definitely suspicious. What were those people doing in there? You lean closer into the peephole instinctively. I bet they're doing something quite unnatural there. Sensationally unnatural. This is the inside of the barred door you've seen before. So what's on the other side? Unless we've veered into a folded M dimension, I'm expected to step up into the roof. We could ask Clashe about this route, see how she reacts. Folded M dimension, a reference to the popular science fiction series in the system. Look who's in a good mood suddenly, and reads science fiction. Haha. Unbar the door. Let's take a look. And see what comes of it. So you don't know anything about this door, Clashe?
Hello, officer. What brings you up here again?
Why do I feel like you've won here? I really don't know, sir. She takes a sip of her cold coffee. I certainly don't feel like I've won. I feel like shit, sir, all the time. But this turned out well for you. You've slipped past all suspicions. Clearly I haven't. We're having this conversation, aren't we? How well could it have gone, I mean? He looks around. The rain falls on her shoulders, tinting her blonde hair light brown. It smells of industrial pollution and brine. I'm stuck in Martinez, just like all of us. I've been up here for I don't know how long now. I like to call this my rooftop containment facility. The dried flowers on the roof. Could Ruby have left them? These don't fit with anything. The what? She narrows her eyes. Oh, those ones. I don't know, sir. I said I have no idea what to make of them. Honestly, I think they're just trash. I mean, there's no reason for me to think they're somehow connected to her. Something seems off with this theory I've developed about Ruby. I don't know what to say. It all seems fortuitous for you. None of this is fortuitous for me. What are you contained for, then? For my sins, of course. The long-standing sins of a bad, frivolous person. For destroying my first love. For working for bad people. The list goes on and on. This all turned out well enough for you. You somehow managed to not become a suspect. Did I? She arches an eyebrow and sighs. Why do I still feel suspicion hanging over me then? What I managed was to get him killed. I understand that. The lieutenant looks away, over the railing. That's it then, I guess. She nods, slowly. Carefully, even. There is suddenly a strange glint in her eyes. Not malicious, but dangerous. How do I get to the talking about this passage with her, though? Is it a lie? That door there. Did you know it leads to a downstairs elevator? I did not. She takes a drag of her cigarette. Do you think this has something to do with what happened? It's possible. She keeps looking at the door with a worried expression. The wind ruffles her hair. There's a peephole on the floor, looking into your bedroom. Sorry, that peephole on the other side. I mixed up with the footsteps on the floor. A peephole? You mean like a hole in the wall? Yes, looking into your bedroom, miss. The lieutenant points to her window. The unmade bed is visible through the glass. Okay. There's a pause as she processes this information. A jitter of fear and disgust moves through her body, beginning from her shoulders and ending in her hips. The cigarette tastes foul to her now. Do you think this is somehow connected to me? It could be connected. Okay. Do you have any way of knowing how long it has been there? Unfortunately, no. But if I were to guess, long enough. The perforation is under the bookshelf on your wall. It should not be hard to cover it with some tape. If it is recent, who do you think made it? Shit. I don't know. Maybe it's been there for a long time. Maybe local kids use it or something. I don't know. I'll be fucking covering it up with a lot of tape, that's for sure. Was there anything else back there? There were tracks on the floor. They're recent. Huh. This isn't good. She's straight as a stick suddenly. It's an old pinball workshop, the room back there. This place used to be a pinball arcade. Okay. She smiles. I'm glad someone's had fun. That's all for now. She flicks the ash from her cigarette absent-mindedly.
Yes?
We don't have much to talk about. Not right now. That's important. A secret back room. I don't know what I was like. I don't know what I was expecting because there's only so much building around us, but yeah, not as much secret area as I expected. I guess it's because I went to the doomed commercial district before, and there's just so much of that place. And by comparison, this place is like nothing sized. It's funny, I walked back that way because it seemed like it'd be an easier trip. And the elevator's dangerous, potentially, sure. But I did just backtrack through her room as opposed to the area that's not her room.
You look like shit.
Your ruffled face reflects from the man's sunglasses.
And I don't mean that as a metaphor.
Last couple of days have been rough.
Oh, don't be so modest. We are looking at several months worth of damage here. Kind of a miracle you're still up and at it, to be honest.
Come on, Jean. It looks like it's been a rough week on him.
The woman next to him sighs.
It's not just this week. What do you want?
He scans you from head to toe. There's something about this guy that matches with a face in your head. A similar but different face. He might be wearing a disguise. Ooh. EDC. But I'm bad at EDC. Cool shades, you wearing a disguise? Yes, it's a hobby of mine. He looks at you inquisitively. He looks like Chad Kroeger. Kroger? As if waiting for some kind of reaction or response. Something to click. It's not happening, though. Who is this guy? Kim, who is this guy? He shakes his head. I am not getting involved with this. Okay then, see you around. Watch out for yourself, loser. That voice, so very familiar. Did you hear it when calling to your station reporting the badge missing? Wait, your voice, I recognize it. Oh really, I wonder where. I lost my badge recently. When I called in to report it missing, you were there. That's where you remember me from? Maybe. Okay, then it's probably a coincidence. People sound alike. Goodbye. Okay. Let's get that EDC up. Let's see. Purple stat. So I currently have no points in it, apparently. There we go. Oh, that also has the same stat. I mean, the same category. Best I can do. This is also the same category, god damn it. This is a series. All I have is a series of jackets. That's the best I can do, huh? Alright. That's not great. Well, I can put a point into it if I fail. And that last dialogue might have helped.
I can't believe this shit.
He shakes his head, looking like he's really having trouble believing this shit. I got some questions for you. I'm a cop. About what? You don't look like a cop. He inspects you. You know what you look like? Like Guillaume Le... No. The man in his sunglasses raises his fist. You will not start blabbering about that, asshole. Now, will you answer some questions for me? No, he says calmly, then just keeps staring at you. Don't you have to? No, he doesn't. If I wasn't clinically depressed, I'd burst out laughing. He doesn't look amused. But I'm gonna go with no right now. If you don't want to answer questions, maybe you want to hear me say things. Actually, I don't want to hear you say things. Come on, Jean. Okay, say things. He adopts a lighter tone. I want to hear you say things. Suddenly, out of nowhere, case-related things start popping up into your head. The person who we think shot him, who made it look like he was hanged, that we're looking for, we can't find her. Well, where have you looked for her? We think she may be on the coast? West of here? Tough luck. The place is ruined from the bombardment. Lots of places to hide there. Well, yeah. Hey, why am I telling you these things? I don't know. Why are you? He gives you an odd look. It's like he felt it would be intellectually stimulating and would lead somewhere. A custom, even. Strange. Oh my god, there's more. He looks at you in disbelief. You want something more. What is it? Yes, I bounced ideas off of him. It gave me a +1. Like he's somebody that I like to bounce ideas off of. Is he my partner? What, was he my partner? Is that why I know who he is, maybe? Come on! There's something that binds you to him. Some kind of outfit, maybe? A uniform. What uniform would combine us to each other? None of these answers make sense. I understand. The uniform is metaphorical. I'm actually seeing a the working class, right? I want to say yes, I think. I don't want to ask that. Level me here for a second. Are you working class? Fucking politics again. You know what I'm more interested in? Me solving the case of the hanged man? You solving the case you're on. He takes a quick breath. I'm passionate about that, so maybe get to it? What if I bounce more ideas off of him? Okay, why not? Let's do this whole thing again. We're not wasting time. There is no time. Okay, I'm doing this investigation. A man is hanged. So, do you know who hanged him? Not yet. Yeah, I can see that. Hey, why am I telling you this? We're looping. I'm not leveling up the bounce ideas off of him thing. Okay, I'm doing this investigation. It turns out he was shot and hanged. You think he was hanged as a cover-up to hide the shooting? Basically, yes. Okay, well... He corrects his blonde wig. This hair. He corrects his hair. It's like a sound. That's why I thought a person was saying it, but it's my own mind. Okay, this person who was shot and then made to look like he was hanged might have been shot by the people who hanged him. I get it, okay. But what is the motive? To cover something up? That would be my first guess, yes. Quite possible. Hey, why am I telling you this? Keeps looping. I need to figure out who he is. Come on. Come on, EDC, go. Please. 58%. There we go. You know what it is. It's like the two of you know each other. Just ask him. Tell me the truth. Do you know me from somewhere? Oh, I definitely know you from somewhere. Another life. From where, another life? Yes, from another life. A different life. Maybe the life of a police officer belonging to the ranks of the... He pauses. To what station do you think you would belong in this alternate and totally fictional reality? 69? I'm so bad with numbers. I'm really bad with numbers. What is my station in this universe? And which one is Kim's? Oh, there's still more back here. Report your badge missing. 41st precinct. So I'm in the 41st precinct. The 57th? I think even in this fictional reality, the 57th would still be my station. The lieutenant makes a little nod towards the man with the sunglasses. I was supposed to say mine, wasn't I? My condolences. The man with the sunglasses replies dryly. Go ahead, have another guess. 41st? Okay, okay. The man sounds genuinely excited. That's plausible, that's entirely plausible. Now we're really getting somewhere. He gives you a long, meaningful look and adds, somewhere good. Let's talk more about the Hypothetical Station 41 you mentioned. Oh, the Hypothetical 41. Yes, let's fantasize about that. He blinks aggressively. I'm not busy, you're not busy, let's just play around. So what would our relationship be in this alternate universe? Let's be crazy. Let's say you and I are partners. How's that for a thought experiment? So it was my first guess. Gotcha. You seem like a cool guy. I'd love to have you as my partner. Would you now? Or would I be cramping your style? The man bites his lip, then waves his hand. Never mind, partner. Actually, I shouldn't have called you my partner. Kim's my partner. He's going to know. I am not your partner. He says quickly. This union is temporary. A little premonition for you, Lieutenant. He turns to Kim. Sooner or later, probably sooner, your new friend tells you he doesn't need you. He will then suggest you should fuck off. When that happens, I suggest you take his advice. He adds bitterly. Lieutenant merely bows his head in response. Do you have a crime to solve? Oh, no. You see, I enjoy watching other better cops solve crimes, and let me tell you, it's been quite a privilege seeing your work. This isn't helping, she says, shaking her head and looking at the man with sunglasses disapprovingly. Who else are you in your imaginary police station? You're not going to believe this, but... The man pauses for dramatic effect. Police officers. Yes, sir, solving crimes, locking up bad guys, and get this, and not getting their drink on at 2 o'clock. Just some regular boring motherfuckers in suits and uniforms. Nothing spectacularly extravagant like you, the far-out son of Lung. Who's the far-out son of Lung? How did I collect so many titles? Oh, it's you, you eccentric genius. He winks at you sarcastically. I mean, with your unorthodox approach to police work, it has to be you. Want to tell me more about him? Or her? Not even a little bit. It's an urban myth, the lieutenant says quietly, about an officer who's so far undercover he can't remember who he is. As I said, just an urban myth. You're not the son of Lung. Okay, yes, you get the joke. Leave it at that. I can't imagine it anymore. Neither can I, partner. Neither can I. His gray eyes suddenly flash above the glass frames. They feel sad. Okay, then. See you around. Oh. I don't have a good history with humans. Probably figure that out sometime. Okay, the man with the sunglasses and his hypothetical station 41. Weird, right? I know, super weird. There's something we're missing here. Something you can't put your finger on. You know what? Just ask him. I know it sounds crazy and you'll probably get laughed at, but still. I was thinking the same thing. I should just ask him if we're from the same station. Yeah, just cross off the list. It's probably not true, though. How could it not be true? We heard his voice and everything else and...
Again, I can't believe this shit.
Look, I just have to ask. Are we from the same police station? I'm going to say no. Just to see what you'll say to that. What do you say? Okay. Okay. John, he said okay. Give it a rest. Okay. I was clearly wrong. He's a firefighter, male nurse, animal control agent, something of that kind, not a cop. Go on with your cop work. Don't let me stop you again. We seem to be incapable of recognizing him as being... like... we can't recognize him as being somebody who's... like... wait, is the guy leaning against... is the guy sitting at that table the same guy who used to be sleeping on the counter? I'm not sure. Is Kuno still here, even though the corpse is gone? Does he have nothing else to do? Yeah. These two just don't have other things to do. These poor people. I have so many friends and everyone likes me, except for all the people that don't like me. I'm gonna continue my exploration efforts. Since we're so close. And I'll see where I want to go from there today. After that. Oh, wait. Hang on a minute. Have I checked the radio today yet? It's hard to remember because I've done it multiple times now. I gotta see if she has the numbers yet. At long last. Did you find out more about the owner of the armored boots? Yes. It took some convincing, but I got the mercenary's name and a few biographical details. Are you ready? Lieutenant leans in to listen. Notebook in hand. Shoot. The suit of armor was issued to an Orangese citizen named Ellis Courtinair. That's Ellis-Kourtenaer. Exact date of birth is unknown. He was signed into the Delaware County Neonatal Care Unit on the 28th of February, 09. Neonatal Care Unit? He was found as a newborn in a leaf compactor near an abandoned farm. He spent 4 months in the neonatal unit, survived apparently, and was assigned to a foster family too. So he was adopted. He was abandoned, and then he was adopted at the age of 2. Neonatal. He was found in a fucking leaf compactor? As a newborn. That's horrifying. Guy had a rough start to his life. If he had a fucked up demeanor, it might have been part of that. I kind of wonder if this neonatal unit... do you get, like, socialization? Do you interact with people or parent figures enough to, like, develop properly in your early years, I wonder? Or if are you totally screwed? Seems like he was abandoned in a machine that was meant to kill him when he was born. This is what the ICP knows about him. He was raised by foster parents, entered the military academy in Frederfort at 17, then served in the Orangese forces until he was honorably discharged in 41, just a year before the Seminese conflict. Then the armor followed him to Seminine, or at least I assumed it did, and that's it. There's no records of his employment in Crenel, or any of its other incarnations, or even him entering Revachol. Wait, he was found in a leaf compactor? It's a garden tool used to press leaves into these cubes. It's a detail the hospital had, the only detail in these files, so I thought it'd be good for you to know. It is. Thank you, Ellis. Any information on his foster parents? None, officer. Sorry. So all we have to connect him to Crenel is the armor. Even that is a small miracle. These organizations usually double-check their inventory. He leans closer and shouts, "Thank you, Alice. Great work." No problem, Lieutenant. She sounds pleased. Well, we have his name and service record now. A name. This is very good. Ellis Courtinair. He says to himself. I'm glad the inquiry was helpful to your investigation, officer. Did you have any other questions? Please connect me to Sylvie again. Just a second, officer. Sylvie Malaika? It's a guess. It's on the line for you, officer. Yes, hello. You recognize her voice. Hey, Sylvie, it's the police again. Oh, great. Why is this gray? For Tess Clashé's story. She doesn't sound thrilled. What else do you need, detective? Tess Clashé's story. Was it you who called the police? No, not me. Do you know who made that call? No, sorry, I don't. She clears her throat. Not a lot of people have phones around here. Copper thieves take the wires. People don't have the money don't have the money to have the cables put in again. They use the Union's phone or the one on the coast. The Union has a phone. There's one further down the coast. Got it. Seems like Clashé wasn't lying when she said it was her. The lieutenant makes a note. This corroborates her story. She made the call. I wouldn't be so sure, detective. But why didn't she make the call? Didn't a corpse behind the workplace bother you? What? Of course it bothered me. But I thought the Union already knew about the corpse. I meant us. You should have called the police. No one calls the police. You can hear her adjust the receiver in her hand. The Union would get angry. What do you mean by that? Yeah. Maybe there's something else you can tell me about it? Yeah, no, I think we're done here. We're pretty much done here. It's there's not a lot of new stuff to cover here. Mostly just get to feel bad about calling her again. Although we did get the point where we had the mental note of corroborating with the story. Oh, that could have been, that unlock could have happened already without me doing that. Because we already had that information. I just did a dialogue trigger basically. I know her name now.
Make way for the master poet.
No. You don't specifically get anything new from knowing her name. Let's actually get to the coast now. I like the fact that Kim comments on the fact that you run everywhere. Listen, I got places to go. I can't get everywhere at the walking speed this game has. I have an audience. We have pacing to consider. Oh, the traps. I should check these periodically, shouldn't I? If I'm walking by them. Nope, still no phasmid. Can't help but wonder if something might happen eventually. Didn't Kuno say he threw the helmet in the water? Where, though? That's what I'm wondering. We also want to ask along the coastline, though. Oh, there's a boat here.
The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down, bastards.
Why does she care about the waves so much? What is with you and those waves? What is it with waves and fishermen? She tilts her head back and looks at the sea. We need to be out there with them. Fishing, making a living. So I asked them to accommodate me. But until that happens, I can try to assist you the best I can. She adds with a smile. So what will it be, officer? That's it. Oh my god. I love the modifier that Kim's presence will make it awkward. Also, all of our other many failures. Is this the same boat from earlier? Am I imagining that or no?
I'll just keep the cordially in the channel if that's okay. It's too shallow near the pier.
She winds the mooring line around a post.
Aye, ma'am. And it's a jetty, by the way.
Of course, jetty. I prefer a good jetty to appear any day. Jetty.
Something about the way she says it makes you want to sing.
Oh, jetty,
Garbage.
oh, jetty.
He responds mournfully.
It's good to see you here, detectives. I only just arrived myself.
What brings you here, madame?
Nothing, really. I've had my eye on this jetty for weeks now. So I decided to investigate it personally. This cluster of buildings isn't on any of the official maps, as far as I can tell.
That. She's also keeping an eye on you. Have you been spying on us?
Spying has such a negative connotation. I did track your progress along the coast, however, and decided I would be better able to assist you from here. Then there's the matter of that little scamp in old lady clothes. She threatened to paint the cordially red, like blood, you see. Well, I like it the way it is. Quite.
He likes to feel like there's no blood on her hands. So how do you like it here?
How do I like it?
She casts her gaze toward the village. Slush melting on the cinder blocks construction work left half finished 10 years ago. Water drips down eaves of Eternite. The jetty below her feet creaks to the tune. The smell of salt and dog shit in the background.
It's pornographically poor. The street has no name. All the men are dead or missing. And is that the carcass of a motor carriage over there?
She squints her eyes.
I'm surprised that woman hasn't put me to the sword yet. Maybe she will. You should ask your questions while you can.
Dark eyes survey the coast leading up to Martinez. Dull gray metal rests in her scabbard. A sword. The wind is too loud for her to hear.
Fortunately for you, madame, the RCM is on the scene.
Alright. Politics time. Let's react. Are you telling me to be reactionary, rhetoric? You're right to be scared. This is all your fault. Maybe. She leans against the railing, looking up at the gray sky. Above you, there forms a quilt of alto cumulus clouds, twisting into each other. The wind tugs and stretches them over the bay. Their cloud shadows slide over the ruins of Revachol West. Wherever they pass, the temperature drops slightly, but imperceptibly. Have I told you about how they discovered this place? The wind picks up. Her raincoat flaps in the gust. The Isola? Yes, Isoland. No, you haven't told me how they found it. Well, your condition has left you no worse off than most of these people. The literacy rate is found 45% west of the river. 50 years of occupation have left these people in an oblivion of poverty. Oblivion, that's so me. I knew you would sympathize, she nods. Most Rivacholians will never know what this place means, our home, this island of matter, or why they were ferried over here in the first place. Remind me to tell you one day. She corrects the scarf around her neck. For now, how can I assist you in this new location? Tell me now, we have time. Do we? He glances at his watch. It doesn't look like he does. I hear you have singled out a suspect and are in pursuit. This is cause for cautious optimism. I would not want to delay you. Maybe there is something else I can assist you with while you're hot in pursuit. Thank you. That's all for now. Apparently we don't have time. But I'm playing a CRPG. You have thoughts about her moving in over here, apparently?
The waves are beginning to
Nope. She does not care. I gotta check in on this again. What am I missing here? The first time I came in here, the game told me to check under the floorboards. But there's no interactive spot coming up. Is it these floorboards? Oh, there's wires vanishing under the floorboards. Is there a stat that's too low for me to do it? Shivers told me to do it originally, I think. Or maybe it's just that I'm not holding a crowbar. How do I check under the floorboards? What? Is it? I can't tell if this is a bug or not. The game told me to immediately. These ones in particular look like the Hanna-Barbera effect, where the boards don't match the surrounding everything. You can't walk on that part. But like, I don't have the interactive. I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully at some point we figure out what the hell's going on with that part. I don't know what it is. What's under the floorboards? What am I missing? Well, this threatens to be new. You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away." Tomorrow is just a whisper away. Looks like tomorrow never came. He raises the collar of his bomber jacket. Another power box. It charges nothing now. It's empty. The fence blocks the path. No way on from here. But there are drugs hiding down here, so that's fun. Good old drugs. More money. Wow. Who needs to make money by getting paid a wage when you get made money by just being paid by the world? Dang.
And Mikhail, notice the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
A blond man stands next to his son, pointing to the weather-worn ruins. He sees you approaching and smiles.
You, officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinaise. I'm Trent Haidle-Stan. You must be Kim Kitsuragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Nice to meet you.
The lieutenant nods. Hold on, hypertext?
Yes, hypertext. Jan Karp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
Wait, what was that about the windows before?
Oh yes, so, Mikhail, they had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago, so they didn't have windows on the south wall.
Monitor glare. So basically, they couldn't see anything on their computers. We're talking about the same thing? Because the sun would just ruin that? Vector monitors. You and Kim know each other?
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers.
He rests his hand on the boy's shoulder. The child stays hidden behind the hem of his father's coat, clutching to his worm-themed coloring book.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into worms lately.
His delivery is odd, if I were to say the least. The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows. What? He doesn't sound like either of those things to me.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms, when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
He points to the building again. Wow, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cyber technician from Grad. They run Vox in the Occidental ruins, or Occidental countries. I'm looking for a suspect. Have you seen anyone suspicious around? No, I'm afraid I can't help you with this one, officer. It's just a regular day off for me and Mikhail here. He pats his son's head. So you haven't seen anyone around? No, I'm sorry. As I said, this is just a day off. We just arrived anyway. He's telling the truth. He hasn't seen anyone. What's so fascinating about an empty old building? Aha! But it's not just any empty old building. He raises his hand to his eyes, springtime sun warming his handsome face. All four of you turn to admire the mural before you. Well, not a lot of people know this. This used to be the R&D department of Feld Electrical, and Feld, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom. Look at the building looming over you. It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed roof. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill. I don't think I've ever heard of this Feld Electrical. That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains. He adjusts his suit jacket. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Koningstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating him in business machines. He gestures towards the building. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say, they were developing an ace up their sleeve. He grins. I'm mixing my metaphors here. Developing an ace up your sleeves, yeah, I would say. What was that ace? It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building. They developed prototypes for a... He pauses for effect. Tape computer. A tape computer? Mm-hmm. An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution, revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bringing them to the average consumer. Which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Ari, Ream, ICN, and ZAM, haven't achieved yet. So this is a pre-computer era. Well, computers exist, but there's no home computers yet. They're like, oh my god, what if there was tape computers? Like a Commodore or some shit. I don't know that much about that era of computers. He grins, admiring the sentence he just produced. He assumed something like a combat stance facing the wind. What happened? Indeed, what? The revolution? The boy wipes his nose on his sleeve. He nods. Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes, possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. He pauses, pointing to the other building, then continues. All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D. What did the revolutionaries do with those advanced tape computers? They used them for military communications, he says, while his son looks up, idly chewing on the corner of his Worm-themed coloring book. But also to write and send out press releases, the most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars. What was that? What's the March Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies, the world governments by the newly created commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year of 2. A short-lived legislative foundation for a short-lived utopia. It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bons Bagers d'Insolinde. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. He looks at his son, who starts giggling, his face hidden behind the book. Or, well, tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention. The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion. You saying Feld Electrical built this boardwalk? Yes. They even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war. A pleasure wheel? The lieutenant looks wistfully at the horizon as if picturing gondolas rising to the sky. Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. I can't stop yawning for some reason, sorry. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics, but history had other plans. What happened to the engineers, the company people? Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. He smiles again, as if he's somehow personally responsible for this bleak turn of events. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers, he means that the boys got shot by the communists. The boys were bourgeois. Oh no. You can just look straight at the kid and be like, he means they all got shot in the head because they're bougie. Now, do you know what bourgeoisie is? Very good. Tape computers, right. Tape computers. He nods while tussling his suit jacket. How did those tape computers work? Did they work like radio computers? Actually, no. No one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware. He raises his finger, remembering something. Buckle up. 10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wompty Dumpty Dom Center in Redefort, Orange. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was the head curator at the time. This was before twins Keith and Guy Just joined them, trying to... Wait, did he just say Wompty Dumpty Dom Center? What the hell is a Wompty Dumpty Dom Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Joost? Okay, the Wompty Dumpty Dom Center, Paul Okerman, Keith and Guy Joost, what are you talking about? The Wompty Dumpty Dom Center for Contemporary Arts. There it is again, those words. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Okerman, chose to... You're making this up. Turn to the lieutenant. Kim, is he making this up? The Wompty Dumpty Dom Center. In fact, I'm not. The Wompty Dumpty Dom Center, he says casually, is a place you can visit if you're ever in Redderfort. And if you are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center, he clears his throat. But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing. Made of black film and folding tape structures. Cool. Very, very cool. He agrees. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The Feld playback experiment vanished into the fires of 07. Wait, the Feld playback experiment? Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the Feld playback experience, but those are incorrect. Why did the revolutionaries destroy it? Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ash remains inside that building. He takes a step back. The boardwalk creaks mournfully in the wood. I want to ask about something else. But of course, what else? He smiles and ruffles his head. Great, thank you for all the interesting information. No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikhail here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed. Pick your brain. If anything, this was rather one-sided. He did the talking. Whatever. the little nitpicker in my brain that wants to get frustrated, but also can't deal with sticking around for all this. Wompty Dumpty Dom Center. It's Wednesday evening, and something heinously exciting is underway. People have gathered beneath the billowing roof of an oddly shaped trophy building, sipping wine and exchanging options. 29-year-old Wunda twins, Guy and Keith Joost, are the stars of the show, with their bomber jackets and white sneakers, head curators of this art exhibition. It's the Wompty Dumpty Dommiest event of the year, and all the cool kids have RSVP'd. Where are you, if not? Where are you if you are not there? The Wompty Dom... The Wompty Dommiest. Oh my god. Alright. That's a thing. Curious. Oh, we finished something. But I don't know which thing's marked as being done. It might have just been checking in on the shoes or whatever, on the number a while ago. That could be it. I do wonder if this has anything to do with the computer we saw in the ruins.